All this while as to what led to the ouster of Sheikh Hasina in Bangladesh. Now you have the chief advisor, Mahfuz Alam, speaking in the United States of America, saying that this was not a spontaneous movement.
National
the fact that he credits the students' movement for the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, he also goes on to indicate that this was planned much in advance. Let me just take you to the details. He was speaking at the Global Clinton Initiative
debating tonight
2024.
At 9 p.m.
He's credited the students who led the revolution against Sheikh Hasina, and he says that the entire movement was completely meticulously planned, not a sudden reaction. Now, this undoubtedly has created a massive stir hinting at possible pre-planning of Sheikh Hasina's ouster in the garb of a student-led movement against the reservations policy. Something that has been speculated for a very, very long time. First, listen into what Mohammed Yunus had to say.
13,000 placements last year.
The whole nation,
at Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
In Bangladesh support this cause. I'm very happy with the support in the people of the United States to make that happen. And the sky's the limit. They want to make this Bangladesh called New Bangladesh. They said we put the reset button, old is gone. So now you put the new Bangladesh on top of it. The images of dreams. And this is a Bangladesh of the dream. Some of the leaders of the student movement are here. Yeah, want to see it? Stand up. The language I never heard, that they speak about the world they want to build, the country they want to build for themselves, and they are ready behind it to make that happen. So please help them, support them, so that their dream comes true. And this is the responsibility we take together, and you will be here with us in that dream, making that dream happen. Young person, you will not recognize it. But when you see them in action, when you hear them speak, you'll be shaking. They shook the whole country by their speeches, by their dedication, their commitment. They said, you can kill us anytime you want, but we are not giving up. And he is known as to be the brain behind the whole revolution. So he denies it repeatedly. He is not me, many others, but that's how he is recognized, that he's the brain behind the whole thing.
Based on
it's amazing, meticulously designed thing. It's not just suddenly came, it's not like that. Very well designed. Even the leadership pattern, people don't know what the leader. So you can't catch one and say, okay, it's over, it's not over.
1,300 targets until
so
now.
It's completely diverse. When they speak, the language is something it inspires any young person anywhere, any
From
person
Asia's
anywhere.
largest news headquarters.
These are the guys. Let's give them a big applause.
Setting the agenda for Bharat.
So this is the Bangladesh. They are the one creating the new version of Bangladesh. Let's wish them a success.
Well, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, there is a bigger picture that basically emerges. In the video that you saw a short while back, Mohammed Yunus is essentially
from the Republic Media Network headquarters. It's time for the debate.
As the mastermind, and the fact that you have two other students who made radical speeches, what he says shook the entire nation. But the reality is also this, that in the last few weeks, after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, two things have certainly happened. Minorities have been attacked. No matter how much they want to brush it under the carpet, that's a reality. The second is how they're pandering to the needs of Islamic fundamentalists in Bangladesh. Joining me on this broadcast is my colleague Kruthat, who's joining us from the newsroom. In fact, he's been tracking this very closely, the developments that are taking place. This is undoubtedly a dangerous turn that is taking place.
Democracy
Kruthat,
has
the fact
triumphed
that
big time
Mohammed
yet again in
Yunus
Jammu and
takes
Kashmir
Mahfuz
as
Abdullah
the people there
on the
bumper
stage,
voted in phase
credits
two of
him and says
also in a
that
big
that is
reveal,
the new
Mohammed
Bangladesh.
Yunus, the caretaker chief of Bangladesh
a little bit
government,
more focus of the
has
stage
exposed
at where this was said. It was
how
the Clinton
Sheikh
Global
Hasina's
Initiative.
ouster
Now, it is a
was
very well-known
meticulously
NPO run
planned
by
operation.
President Clinton since 2005.
And then back home,
we all know it is in
we
public
had
knowledge that
AIMIM
Yunus and
chief
President Clinton have shared a great collaboration between the two, even since 1980s when Clinton was the governor of Arkansas. So this is a relationship between Yunus and Clinton that go back decades. And what particularly was said on that stage is interesting. First, Mohammed Yunus says to the audience and the gathering at the Global Initiative Conference that these are the people that you need to support in order to execute the plans. Then he goes on to say that this was a meticulously planned protest.
Number two,
he goes on to say that
now
there was a
that
complete
Bangladesh
anonymity
coup
about who was
meticulously
leading it,
planned by the
how
deep
well it was
state.
designed,
Yunus
the manner in which the
ousts
speeches were delivered and
the
how they were
reality
inspiring to the
and the
masses.
truth.
But in many ways, if you decode the
And
speech
debate
and
number
particularly
three is
focus on
obviously
what he
shooting over
has said
shoulders
in the
of the
manner
Hindu
in which the
community
ouster
to
was
seek
planned, it sort of feels like it's a
privileges.
victory
It's
lap in
going
the
to be a
United
wider
States that
debate
Mohammed
on
Yunus is
uniform
attempting
civil
to
code
give
at 9 p.m. with
in the
Niranjan.
ouster of Hasina being
let me
almost a
get you the
pre-planned
headlines
event.
first.
That is what has been inferred from what is exactly said, Shaban.
54% voter turnout recorded till 5 p.m.
Just a
People
quick
come
question
out
that
to
I
vote
want to
in
take
large
from you,
numbers in
Kruthat,
Jammu and
before I
Kashmir
move
as
on
they
to the other
reaffirm
big
their
story
faith
that
in
is
democracy after
coming in
years.
from
Foreign
Gujarat.
diplomats from 16
With
countries
regards
in the valley
to the fact
to
that
witness
the
JNK
proximity
elections.
of
But
Mohammed
NC says
Yunus
we don't
with
need
the
your
Western
certificate.
administration is known to the entire world. But largely the
All the young
intervention
people of
of the
Bangladesh
West,
got
something
together
that was being speculated for a
and
very,
said,
very long
"Enough is
time.
enough.
It appears
We
that there
are
is a
not going
stamp
to tolerate
on
it anymore."
The fact that the West was
And
very
they
much
didn't.
aware of
Every
what
single
was coming
person
in
in
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh support this cause.
If you look at the statements
I'm
that
very
were
happy
made, in the last 2 days,
support
Mohammed Yunus has managed to get approvals
in the
from
people
two
of the
US
United
presidents.
States.
One was
Mohammed
President
Yunus
Biden,
is
and let
on
me
tour to
recall what he
United
said.
States,
US President Biden said that we offer
where
to
he's
continue
engaging
support
with various
to
foreign
Bangladesh
leaders
to
ahead of
implement
his
its
UNG
new reform
appearance, and
agenda.
there
So
he
clearly
gave
from
a
the White
big
House, from the
revelation
present-day
on the
Democratic
coup,
Party, there seems to
which
be a
led to
clear
Sheikh
nod
Hasina's
to the
ouster, where
Bangladesh
he says
administration.
that
No lectures
the
on
coup was
democracy,
meticulously
no
planned.
lectures on free and fair elections. So this is a clear indication from the White House
साथ
saying
में
that
आप बोल
Mohammed
रहे हैं कि
Yunus
एनिमल
regime
फैट आ
clearly has
गया
their
तो
backing.
गलत है बोल
Listen
हम भी
to what
मानते गलत है
President
मगर यहाँ
Clinton
पर
said.
हमारे
Clinton said
हमारे
that their
धर्म में
friendship
ये तो
days back to
वक्फ
1980s, and he
मुस्लिम
said
धर्म
you are
का
an old
हिस्सा
guy.
है तो
I know
इसलिए
he
ये
was
जो
even
बिल
drafted
मोदी
for this
लाए
eminent
हैं वो
position. He does not know a
जिसको
single
छीनना
person
चाह रहे
who was drafted for this eminent position by the young people of this
AIMIM
country.
chief
So
Asaduddin
clearly
Owaisi makes
Clinton
a
also
bizarre
giving a nod to
analogy
the
with
entire
Waqf and the
student-led
Tirupati
movement
Laddu
that
controversy.
led to the
Says
eventual
that if
ouster of
Hindu
Sheikh Hasina.
sentiments can be
Remember,
heard,
viewers, that this entire
there
movement
is-
started against the
if there is
reservation policy. But
adulterated
today,
Laddu
from the
served to
speech of
them,
Mohammed Yunus,
then
it
the
seemed like it
Waqf
was a clear
amendment bill
operation of
also
regime
hurts the
change,
religious
where a new
sentiments of the
Bangladesh
Muslims.
sort of
He
had to
also
emerge,
argued that
something that the
government
President
interference
Clinton
violates
administration of the
Article
past
26,
and the present-day Biden
which guarantees
administration
religious
is
freedom
also
and
vouching for.
management
Shaban,
of
there is an
religious
interesting
affairs.
dichotomy here between the tale of two US presidents.
Thank you very much, Kruthat, for getting us the latest details. As we've been seeing, a sharp turn has been taken in Bangladesh
Okay,
politics.
friends, we had a great day in
the
Jammu
fact
and
that
Kashmir
for a very
with
long time,
democracy
the demand
taking
that is
deeper
essentially
roots
being
as the
made by
UN
some
territory
stakeholders
voted
that the
in
elections
phase
should
2 of the
happen.
elections to the
It certainly
Legislative
does
Assembly.
not look any
Like in
time
phase 1,
soon.
this time too, people
So to
came out to
focus on
vote
the
in
other
huge
big
numbers.
breaking news now coming
We
in
cannot
with
forget
regards
how in the
to
general
attempts that have
elections,
been made in the last
Baramulla had
few
voted
days,
more than
particularly
Bombay or
with
Mumbai.
regards to
And now,
derail.
with the widest choice possible that the people of Jammu and
What was
Kashmir
being
have
speculated
ever
all
had in
this
its
while
history,
as to what
the election
led
is
to the
already
ouster
being
of
billed
Sheikh Hasina
as the counter
in
to
Bangladesh.
1987.
Now you have the chief
If it was the dirtiest one,
Mohammed
for
Yunus,
reasons that
speaking
are
in United
part of
States
historical
America,
record now,
saying that this
2024
was
is
not a
coming out
spontaneous
as the freest and fairest
the fact
one.
that he credits the
If Omar
students'
Abdullah
movement
claims he
for
is
the
winning,
ouster of Sheikh
and Iltija
Hasina,
Mufti
he also
says
goes on to
PDP would be
indicate
kingmaker.
that
They know democracy
this was
is winning.
planned much
Despite
in
that
advance.
whining at
Let
the
me just
most
take you through the
positive
details.
developments
He was speaking
continues.
at the Global
Omar
Clinton
peddled a
Initiative
conspiracy theory
2024.
today that
He's
the mass
credited the
participation
students who
was
led
aimed
the
at
revolution
having an
against
assembly
Sheikh
that endorses
Hasina.
abrogation
And
of
he says
Article
that the
370.
entire movement was completely
He saw
meticulously
civilization in the visit of diplomats
Now, this undoubtedly
to see for themselves the exercise of suffrage.
Hinting at possible
And well,
pre-planning of
the
Sheikh
same day
Hasina's ousting
that
in
Rahul
garb of a
Gandhi
student
slipped
led movement
between
against the
Kashmiri
reservations
pundits
policy.
and the
Something
POJK migrants.
that has been speculated
Jammu
for a
and
very,
Kashmir is
very
winning.
long time. First,
India is
listen
winning.
to what
And surprise of all,
had to say.
even these whiners are winning. Let's look at the developments of the day.
They mobilize the whole nation together.
With a panel of guests
young
on the other
people.
side.
Every single person in Bangladesh support this cause.
The world is lauding India for holding the largest democratic elections in the world.
And the people of the United States to make that happen.
हमारी सरकार की वापसी हुई
They want to make this Bangladesh called New Bangladesh.
पिछले 60 सालों में भारत में नहीं हुआ था.
So now
And now, a record-breaking voter turnout in Jammu and Kashmir in the very first phase of polling.
Dreams, and this is the Bangladesh of the dreams they want to make. Some of the leaders of the student movement are here.
First time here. It's very beautiful. It's wonderful to be amongst people who are actually here to cast their votes. Let's see the really vibrant enthusiasm.
It's a pleasure. It's my first time that I'm visiting Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir. So it's really a privilege to be invited by the Ministry of External Affairs to come and visit first time.
That they speak about the world they want to build, the country they want to build for themselves.
But the National Conference sees politics behind the global recognition of India's celebration of democracy.
Support them.
यही लोग जब जम्मू कश्मीर के बारे में कमेंट करते हैं तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से बयान आता है कि जम्मू कश्मीर जो है वो हमारा अंदरूनी मामला है, इस पर दूसरों की दखल नहीं होनी चाहिए. अगर दखल नहीं होनी चाहिए, अगर इनके कमेंट्स आपको नहीं चाहिए तो इनको यहाँ लाया क्यों जा रहा है?
This is the same Omar Abdullah who met rather covertly an American delegation.
Any other young person, you will not
The
recognize
same Omar Abdullah
you
who
see
is
them
in an
action,
alliance with Rahul
when
Gandhi,
you hear
who
them
has
speak,
maligned India on foreign
you'll be
soil
shaken.
several times.
They shook the whole country.
This even as
by their
fissures
speeches,
seem
by
to
their
be developing
dedication, their
in the
commitment. They
NC
said,
Congress
you can kill us
alliance.
anytime you want, but
After
we're not
Rahul
giving up.
is done
And
campaigning in one or two
is,
seats in
known
Kashmir, he
as to be
focuses in
the
Jammu. Ultimately, what the
behind the
Congress
whole
does in Kashmir is not that
revolution.
important.
So
What the Congress
he
does in
denies
Jammu
it
is
repeatedly.
important.
He said not
And
me,
unfortunately,
many others. But that's
Congress
how
hasn't done
that
as much in the plains of
the brain
Jammu
behind the
as
whole
we would
thing.
expect them to
It's
do.
amazing, meticulously designed.
Why are the
thing.
Abdullahs so nervous
It's not
about
just
the world
suddenly
witnessing
came.
Jammu
It's
and
not like that.
Kashmir's
Very
democratic
well
affirmation?
designed. Even the leadership pattern, people don't know who they are. So you can't catch one and say, okay, it's over. It's not over. So it's complete diversity. When they speak,
All right, joining me in this
the language
conversation to represent the views of the
is
BJP and hence
something
the central government,
inspire
Radhika
any
Khera,
young
she's the
person
national
anywhere, any
spokesperson of
person
the
anywhere
party.
in the world.
We also
This
have
is-
Sushil
these are the
Pandit,
guys. Let's
columnist,
give them a
Kashmiri
big
rights, Kashmiri Pandit rights activist, joining us live from Delhi. We also have Ahmad Ayaz, political analyst, leads toward the Congress party,
They
joining
are
us
the
live
one
from Srinagar.
creating the
Also
new
from
version of
Srinagar,
Bangladesh.
political
Let's
analyst,
wish
leans
them
towards the
success.
national conference, Dr. Pirzada, and hence I would
Well, in
want
fact,
to begin with
ladies
you,
and
Mr.
gentlemen, there is
Pirzada.
a bigger
You know,
picture that basically emerges.
let's try to
In the
understand.
video
Are
that
you
we
winning?
saw a short while back,
If yes,
Mohammed
then
Yunus is
isn't
essentially
democracy winning?
introducing one of the
And
student
if yes,
leaders, Mahfuz
then why this
Abdullah,
nervousness
as the
if
mastermind.
some diplomats
and the
come
fact
and
that you have two
watch
other students
that freest
who
and
made
fairest
radical speeches,
exercise of democracy
what
in
he
Jammu and
says
Kashmir?
shook the entire
Why-
nation. But the reality
why
is also this,
come out
that
as
in the
so
last
whining,
few
Mr.
weeks,
Pirzada?
after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, two things have certainly happened. Minorities have been attacked. No matter how much they want to brush it under the carpet, that's a reality. The second is how they're pandering to the needs of Islamic fundamentalists in Bangladesh. Joining me on this broadcast is my colleague Pruthat, who's joining us from the newsroom. In fact, he's been tracking this very closely, the developments that are taking place. This is undoubtedly a dangerous turn that is taking place. Pruthat, the fact that Mohammed Yunus takes Mahfuz Abdullah on the stage, credits him and says that is the new Bangladesh.
in coming forward to help out the people. A little bit more focus on the stage at where this was said. It was the Clinton Global Initiative. Now, it is a very well-known NPO run by President Clinton since 2005. We all know it is in public knowledge that Yunus and President Clinton have shared a great collaboration between the two, even since 1980s when Clinton was the governor of Arkansas. So this is a relationship between Yunus and Clinton's that go back decades. And what particularly was said on that stage is interesting. First, Mohammed Yunus says to the audience and the gathering at the Global Initiative Conference that these are the people that you need to support in order to execute the plans. Then he goes on to say that this was a meticulously planned protest. He goes on to say that there was a complete anonymity about who was leading it, how well it was designed, the manner in which the speeches were delivered and how they were inspiring to the masses. But in many ways, if you decode the speech and particularly focus on what he has said in the manner in which the ouster was planned, it sort of feels like it's a victory lap in the United States that Mohammed Yunus is attempting to give in the ouster of Hasina being almost a pre-planned event. That is what has been inferred from what is exactly said, Shabba.
No, you are audible. Please go ahead, Mr. Pirzada. Complete your
quick question that I want to take from you, Kuthar, before I move on to the other big story that is coming in from Gujarat. With regards to the fact that the proximity of Mohammed Yunus with the Western administration is known to the entire world, but largely the intervention of the West, something that was being speculated for a very, very long time. It appears that there is a stamp on it. The fact that the West was very much aware of what was coming in Bangladesh.
That is not any kind of favor. That has this magic. In the last 2 days, Mohammed Yunus has managed to get approvals from 2 US presidents. One was President Biden, and let me recount what he said. US President Biden said that we offer to continue support to Bangladesh to implement its new reform agenda. So clearly from the White House, from the present-day Democratic Party, there seems to be a clear nod to the Bangladesh administration. No lectures on democracy, no lectures on free and fair elections. So this is a clear indication from the White House saying that the Mohammed Yunus regime clearly has their backing. Listen to what President Clinton said. Clinton said that their friendship dates back to 1980s, and he said, "You're an old guy." I know who was even drafted for this eminent position. He does not know a single person who was drafted for this eminent position by the young people of this country. So clearly Clinton also giving a nod to the entire student-led movement that led to the eventual ouster of Sheikh Hasina. Remember, viewers, that this entire movement started against the reservation policy, but today, from the speech of Mohammed Yunus, it seemed like it was a clear operation of regime change, where a new Bangladesh sort of had to emerge, something that the President Clinton administration of the past and the present-day Biden administration is also vouching for.
Not
there's an
saying
interesting dichotomy here between the
my
tale of
question
two
is,
US
you got your
presidents.
opening, Mr. Pirzada, I'll come back to you. Radhika Khera, this conspiracy theory.
Thank you very much, Kuthar, for getting us the latest
campaign
details.
season and you are allowed to,
a sharp turn has been taken in Bangladesh politics. And the fact that for a very long time, the demand that is essentially being made by some stakeholders that elections should happen,
apart from the
it certainly does not look anytime
the independents, the AIP,
should focus now to the other big breaking news now coming in
even
with
the
regards to the attempts that have been made in the last few days, particularly with regards
some
to
other parties, People's Conference, widest possible choice.
What was being speculated all this while as to what led to the ouster of Sheikh Hasina in Bangladesh. Now you have the chief advisor, Mohammed Yunus,
guilty of this
speaking
charge
in United States of America, saying that this was not a spontaneous movement. The fact that he credits the students' movement for the ouster of Sheikh
and we've
Hasina,
seen that, and
he also
we've
goes
seen
on
how
to
they have been
indicate
anti-India and how they have done anti-India policies and how they were aligned with those who are anti-India.
Let me just take you through the details. He was speaking at the Global Clinton Initiative 2024. He's credited the students who led the revolution against Sheikh Hasina, and he says that the entire movement was completely meticulously planned, not a sudden reaction. Now this undoubtedly has created a massive stir, hinting at possible pre-planning of Sheikh Hasina's ouster in the garb of a student-led movement against the reservations policy. Something that has been speculated for a very, very long time. First, listen into what Mohammed Yunus had to say.
Incidents that have happened or any terror,
the whole nation, they mobilized the whole nation together. It's not just the young people. Every single person in Bangladesh support this cause.
They are very rattled with that. They are very rattled with the fact that there is an entire
the people of the United States to make that happen.
To see the elections and see how
the sky's the limit.
The greatest festival of democracy
They
in
want
the
to
world's
make
largest
this
democracy
Bangladesh
takes
called
place.
New Bangladesh.
So they are rattled with that fact how we are managing to ensure their security and the security of the voters as well, and
so ensure
peaceful election in the
new Bangladesh.
Interesting point that you raised, Radhika Khera.
They also rattled with the
dreams, and this
that
is
they are
Bangladesh
allies. You know,
Umar
Abdullah could have picked up his
some of the
iPhone and
leaders of
sent
the
an
student
iMessage
movement are here.
or WhatsApp
Well,
or Telegram or whatever he prefers. And they told Rahul Gandhi that please focus on Jammu, that's your territory, that's where you have more seats. Ahmad Ayaz. Is the alliance coming undone as we inch closer to election results? Ahmed Ayaz, are we going to see the unraveling of the NC Congress alliance?
The language I
Given the
never
statement
heard.
that Omar Abdullah has made today.
That they speak about the world they want to build, the country they want to build for themselves. And they are ready behind it to make that
Congress has been
happen.
very
So please
sincere
help
and
them,
honest so far
support
as
them,
Tripoli
so that
alliance is
their dream
concerned.
comes true. And this is the
maybe there
responsibility
could
we
be some
take together.
compulsions with the National Conference to see that the alliance, Tripoli alliance is done, which we see that what could be the possibilities of their and being under some pressure to see that. Otherwise, possibly they would not have sought Tripoli alliance with anyone as they did with the PDP. They formed PAGD together. Then when it came to the election in the parliament,
you will not recognize
they,
but when you see them in
own,
action,
line and
when
they
you hear
went
them
separately
speak,
for elections,
you'll be
despite the
shaking.
PDP asking that
They
even
shook the
if
whole
National
country
Conference asks us, we will
by their
support
speeches,
them
by
on
their
all the 3
dedication,
seats in
their
the
commitment.
parliament.
They said you
But
can kill
still
us
the
anytime
National
you want,
Conference has
but
taken
we are
their
not
own
giving
way.
up.
Possibly thinking that they will they will have more numbers and they will be the
behind the
number
whole
one party as far as
revolution.
parliament is
So,
concerned. I
he
think same
denies it
was their
repeatedly. He
opinion.
did not
They
agree
were
many
same
others,
in the
but
assembly
that's how he's
election also
recognized
that they would not need
the brain
anybody's
behind the whole
support.
thing.
This is
It's
what
amazing,
I could
meticulously
see.
designed thing.
But that in
It's not
between
just
the
suddenly
development took
came,
place.
it's not like that.
It
Very
was
well designed.
said
Even the
that,
leadership at times,
National
people
Conference
don't know
had
about the
an
leaders.
pact,
So you can't catch
pact
one and say,
somewhere
okay,
with
it's
the
over. It's not
BJP,
over.
and in the process,
So it's
Farooq
complete
Abdullah was
diversity.
out of
When they
the
speak,
scam. That is
language
correct or not, we can't say.
Is
but
something
it was rumored
inspire
about that this
any
has
young
happened.
person anywhere,
And
any
it's
person
sensing
anywhere
the
in the
ground
world.
that if
These
this
are the
goes
guys.
down
Let's
the
give them a
people
big
and they will also end with the same fate what the Apni party met, what the Sajad met, even for that purpose Ghulam Nabi Azad met when they were
They are the one creating the
proxies
new
of the
version of Bangladesh.
BJP.
Let's with them.
They
wish
possibly
them
the
success.
National Conference tried a pre-poll alliance with the Congress.
Well, in fact,
not
ladies and
with the
gentlemen, there is
sincerity that
a
they
bigger
should
picture that basically
be seen
emerges.
through on the
In the
ground,
video that you saw
or they may
a
make
while
a
back,
government together.
Mohammed
Possibly
Yunus
because
is
of this
essentially
to
introducing
dispel
one
the
of the
rumor,
student leaders,
dispel the
Mahfuz
rumor
Abdullah,
that
as
NC
the
has made some
mastermind, and the fact
secret
that you have
pact,
two other
possibly.
We can ask
students
him, Safir
who
Dada,
made
he can
radical
dispel the rumors
speeches,
tonight on national
what
TV.
he says
So as
shook
such-
the entire
as such-
nation. But the reality is also this.
Sorry?
That
We can
in
ask
the
Mr.
last few
Pirzada
weeks,
to dispel the rumors that
after
there is
the
some
ouster
understanding
of
with the
Sheikh
BJP,
Hasina,
Mr.
two things have
Pirzada.
certainly happened.
Congress party is an
Minorities
ally.
have
Today
been
you took
attacked.
pot
No
shots
matter
at the
how
Congress
much
and
they
the
want to
apparent
brush it
reason
under
could
the
be that the
carpet,
Congress is
that's a
apprehensive
reality.
that maybe
The
behind the scenes
second
you
is
already have
how
some
they're
understanding with the
pandering to the
BJP.
needs of Islamic fundamentalists in Bangladesh.
Person
Joining
of
me on
any
this
party, I
broadcast
have a
is
much
my
concern
colleague
with our youth is
who's
struggling.
joining us from the
Please, for
newsroom.
God's
In
sake,
fact,
let
he's
us
been
not be
tracking this
politics,
very closely, the
because
developments
empowering
that
the
are
youth
taking
will
place.
that tomorrow.
This is
Tomorrow is in
undoubtedly
shambles. Tomorrow
a
is in
dangerous
prison.
turn
Come
that
to
is
our
taking
help. For
place.
God's sake, we may discuss
The
anytime, any
fact
day.
that
I am not a
Mohammed Yunus
spokesperson.
takes
We have the
Mahfuz
major concern.
Abdullah
But the
on the stage,
profound reality
credits
on the
him
ground
and
is
says
that there
that
are
that
good
is
number of
the new
takers for the
Bangladesh.
National Conference for the Umar Abdullah dispensation.
Maybe a little bit more focus on the stage and where this was said. It was the Clinton Global Initiative. Now, it is a very well-known NPO run by President Clinton since 2005. We all know it is in public knowledge that Yunus and President Clinton have shared a great collaboration between the two, even since 1980s when Clinton was the governor of Arkansas. So this is a relationship between Yunus and Clintons that go back decades. And what particularly was said on that stage is interesting. First, Mohammed Yunus says to the audience and the gathering at the Global Initiative Conference that these are the people that you need to support in order to execute the plans. Then he goes on to say that this was a meticulously planned protest. He goes on to say that there was a complete anonymity about who was leading it, how well it was designed, the manner in which the speeches were delivered and how they were inspiring to the masses. But in many ways, if you decode the speech and particularly focus on what he has said, in the manner in which the ouster was planned, it sort of feels like it's a victory lap in the United States that Mohammed Yunus is attempting to give. In the ouster of Hasina being almost a pre-planned event, that is what has been inferred from what is exactly said, Shaban.
I think these elections are going to be very significant.
Just a quick question that I want to take from you, Kruthad, before I move on to the other big story that is coming in from Gujarat. With regards to the fact that the proximity of Mahfuz Yunus with the Western administration is known to the entire world. But largely the intervention of the West, something that was being speculated for a very, very long time. It appears that there is a stamp on it. The fact that the West was very much aware of what was coming in Bangladesh.
Have very little
Indeed,
stake
and if
in
we
the
look
valley.
at the statements
This
that
is
were
how
made,
it is.
in the last 2 days, Mahfuz Yunus has managed to get approvals from 2 US presidents. One was President Biden, and let me recount what he said. US President Biden said that we offer to continue support to Bangladesh to implement its new reform agenda. So clearly from the White House, from the present-day Democratic Party, there seems to be a clear nod to the Bangladesh administration. No lectures on democracy, no lectures on free and fair elections. So this is a clear indication from the White House saying that the Mahfuz Yunus regime clearly has their backing. Listen to what President Clinton said. Clinton said that their friendship dates back to 1980s, and he said, "You're an old guy." I know who was even drafted for this eminent position. He does not know a single person who was drafted for this eminent position by the young people of this country. So clearly Clinton also giving a nod to the entire student-led movement that led to the eventual ouster of Sheikh Hasina. Remember, viewers, that this entire movement started against the reservation policy, but today, from the speech of Mahfuz Yunus, it seemed like it was a clear operation of regime change, where a new Bangladesh sort of had to emerge, something that the President Clinton administration of the past and the present-day Biden administration is also vouching for. So, Shawan, there is an interesting dichotomy here between the tale of two US presidents.
Kashmir and to become a responsible party in a democratic process.
Thank you very much, Kruthad, for getting us the latest details. As we've been seeing, a sharp turn has been taken
this is
in
how I see these
Bangladesh
elections
politics,
panning out.
and the fact that for a very long time, the demand that is essentially being made by some stakeholders
as far as the multiple parties are concerned, yes, it is fragmentation of the polity. It is multiplicity of options
Shift focus
and
now to the other big
non-options
breaking
which
news
will
now coming
confuse the
in
people.
with regards to
And in
the
this
attempts that have
process,
been made in the last
an
few
entire
days, particularly
mandate
with
will be
regards
hijacked.
to
People will be confused. A lot of people will not cast their vote. Those who will
what was
rue the day
being
because
speculated all this
will have
while
very
as to
little meaning.
what led to the
In the
ouster
process,
of Sheikh Hasina
the
in
entire
Bangladesh.
democratic process,
Now you have
the
the chief
sanctity of it, the
advisor,
sincerity of it, the purity
Yunus,
of it,
speaking in United
compromised.
States of America, saying that this was not a spontaneous
for the benefit
movement.
of viewers.
The fact that he credits the students' movement for the ouster of Sheikh Hasina. He also goes on to indicate that this was planned much in advance.
What you
Let me
go
just take
to
you through the
people with
details. He was speaking at the Global Clinton Initiative 2024.
And in the post-election
the students who led the revolution against Sheikh Hasina. And he says that the entire movement was completely meticulously planned, not a sudden reaction. Now this undoubtedly has created a massive stir, hinting at possible pre-planning of Sheikh Hasina's ouster in the garb of a student-led movement against the reservations policy.
In the post-election scenario, these two
speculated for a very, very long time. First, listen in to what Mahfuz Yunus had to say.
Radhika, I don't know how different this is, say,
the
from
whole nation, they mobilize the whole nation
the
together.
BJP
It's
coming
not just the
together,
young
or the
people.
SP and the
Every
BSP
single
coming
person
together,
in Bangladesh
or
support
the
this
Shiv Sena
cause.
and the Congress coming together in Maharashtra. So in a way, Kashmir is mainstream now, Sushil Pandit.
To make it
mainstream with the rest of the country.
And the sky is the limit.
Respond because
They want to make this Bangladesh called New Bangladesh.
People could question the integrity. Radhika, that's a serious charge Sushil Pandit is making actually.
So now you build the new Bangladesh on top of it. The images
he can come up
of
with any theory that he wants.
dreams, and this
but
is
the
the
fact, like I
Bangladesh
said,
of the
is
dream they will
everyone
make.
here is grappling with
Some
how
of the
are
leaders
peaceful
of the
elections
student
conducted.
movement are here.
And NC and Congress are in alliance, they are in India alliance, and they have been criticizing the BJP government day in and day out. And like the NC person over here, whether he's a supporter or a spokesperson, as he said, I'm not a
supporter.
He said that jobs have to be created. They're worried about the future.
language I never heard.
In 3 years,
That they speak about the world they want to build, the country they want to build for
schools
themselves.
are being working,
And
children are getting to
they
go to
are
school,
ready behind it
as
to
well
make
as
that
there are no
happen.
buns being
So
called.
please
Where
help
every
them,
second day there
support
was a
them,
bun being called,
so
and
that
our
their
children,
dream
which are
comes
the
true.
future
And
of
this
the
is the
state, the
responsibility we
future of
take
the
together.
country. We are ensuring that the future
dream
can,
Make
go
it
to school and ensure that the future is bright tomorrow. And this is not what I'm saying is, I'm sure your journalists have also gone on ground, and people are saying that it's a fact that schools are working. There's no patharbazi. People are.
Well, I can tell you from my direct experience. I have a friend in Srinagar, and he
but
said,
when you see them in action, when
so
you
happy
hear
the day
them
of
speak,
Prime Minister's
you will
rally
be
at the
shaken.
Sher-e-Kashmir Stadium
They shook
in
the whole country.
Srinagar. You know
by
why?
their speeches,
Because
by
they
their
said their schools
dedication,
were
their
closed for
commitment. They
security
said you can
reasons.
kill us anytime
And
you
this is
want,
after a
but we are not
long
giving
time
up.
that their school
And
was closed.
he is known
And
as
the kids were happy and playing. Then they got a
behind
day
the
off
whole
from school,
revolution.
right? Ahmed Ayaz,
So he
you would
denies
agree
it
that
repeatedly.
Kashmir
He
is
did not
peaceful?
me, many others.
That today,
but that's how he's
all
recognized
the
that
men, women,
he the
youth,
brain
they can
behind the
come
whole
out
thing.
without
It's amazing,
any fear
meticulously designed thing.
Indulge in this
It's
festival
not just
of
suddenly
democracy.
came. It's not like
with a
that.
drum
Very
beats.
well designed. Even the
And
leadership
that is
pattern,
one
people don't know about the leader.
achievement, which is between the
So
people
you
of
can't
Jammu and
catch one
Kashmir,
and say,
of
okay,
course,
it's over. It's not
and
over.
the government in Delhi.
So it's completely diverse. When they speak, the language
before I come to
is
your
something
question,
inspire any young person anywhere, any person anywhere in the world.
What we call it,
These are the guys.
Pandit,
Let's give them a
regarding
big
his,
applause.
assessment of post-election scenario that possibilities of BJP coming together, NC coming together for
They are the
formation
one
of,
creating
with
the
BJP
new
for
version of Bangladesh.
government.
Let's
I
wish
also see those
them a
possibilities, and
success.
it looks very clear to me that there are more chances of them
Well, in
coming
fact,
together
ladies and
than
gentlemen, there is
the
a
NDA
bigger
bloc
picture
formed
that
the government
basically
in Jammu and
emerges.
Kashmir.
In the
Coming to
video that
your
you saw a
question,
short while
that
back,
should this issue
Mohammed
be taken,
Yunus
whatever
is
we have seen
essentially
today, with
introducing
regard to the
one of the student
voters
leaders, Mahfuz
participating,
Abdullah,
not many
as the
candidates
mastermind,
coming
and the
in,
fact that you have
and
two
then not
other
only not
students
many
who've
candidates
made
but political
radical
parties
speeches,
beyond Jammu and Kashmir,
what he says
coming and
shook
fighting
the entire
elections in Jammu
nation.
and Kashmir.
But the
Should
reality
we
is
treat this
also
as a normalcy and
that in
total
the last
peaceful? No,
few
I
weeks,
don't see it as that.
after
It is
the
an
ouster
outcome,
of Sheikh
whatever we
Hasina,
have
two things
seen
have
today
certainly happened.
of so many factors,
Minorities have
not
been
the
attacked. No
ultimate
matter how much they want to brush
restoration
it
of
under
peace.
the carpet,
It is an
that's a
outcome
reality.
of that
The
after
second
10 years
is
the
how
elections are
they're
held in Jammu
pandering
and
to the
Kashmir.
needs of
Not
Islamic
an outcome of restoration of peace. You think peace has no contribution or no role in this fantastic atmosphere where everyone, from the locals to the foreigners who come out, feel good about life in Srinagar and happy about
this
the
is
exercise?
undoubtedly a dangerous turn that is taking place.
No, I was coming to these points one by one. You did not interrupt me.
Abdullah
See, well, the stone pending stoppage is a contributory factor. Nobody can deny
and
that.
give credit to those who managed to stop the
Anyway, a
stone
little bit more
pelting, right?
focus
Can
on the
you give
stage
credit?
at where this was said. It was the Clinton Global Initiative.
Kisko denge credit?
Now, it is a
Who
very
gets the
well-known
credit?
NPO run by President Clinton since 2005. We
Well,
all know it is in
surely,
public
surely
knowledge that
the way
Yunus
it
and
has been
President Clinton
handled
have
that all
shared a
stone
great
pelters are banned
collaboration
about,
between the two,
there is
even
none,
since 1980s when
free on
Clinton
the
was
roads
the
to
governor
see
of
that the
Arkansas.
stones
So
are
this is a relationship
thrown,
between
to
Yunus
that
and
extent,
Clintons
well,
that go back
security,
decades. And what
grid is
particularly
very
stuck in that state is
we
interesting.
can
First,
say
Mohammed
because
Yunus
the stones pelters are
says
not
to the
coming
audience
out.
and the
The
gathering
reason
at
is
the
that they are
Global
gainfully
Initiative
employed
Conference
somewhere.
that
Earlier
these
they
are
were
the people
getting
that you need to support in order to execute the plans. Then he goes on to say that this was a meticulously planned protest. He goes on to say that there was a complete anonymity about who was leading it, how well it was designed, the manner in which the speeches were delivered and how they were inspiring to the masses. But in many ways, if you decode the speech and particularly focus on what he has said, in the manner in which the ouster was planned, it sort of feels like it's a victory lap in the United States that Mohammed Yunus is attempting to give. In the ouster of Hasina being almost a pre-planned event, that is what has been informed on what is exactly said.
Let me ask this to Mr. Pirzada. Let me ask this to Mr. Pirzada. Mr. Pirzada, you have been
just a quick question that I want to take from you, Prithad, before I move on to the other big story that is
including once, of course, an alliance with the BJP. But
with regards to the fact that the proximity of Mohammed Yunus with the Western administration is known to the entire world. But largely the intervention of the West, something that was being speculated for a very, very long time. It appears that there is a stamp on it. The fact that the West was very much aware of what was coming in Bangladesh.
We do endorse.
Indeed, and if you look at the statements that were made, in the last 2 days, Mohammed Yunus has managed to get approvals from two US presidents. One was President Biden, and let me recount what he said. US President Biden said that we offer to continue support to Bangladesh to implement its new reform agenda. So clearly from the White House, from the present-day Democratic Party, there seems to be a clear nod to the Bangladesh administration. No lectures on democracy, no lectures on free and fair elections. So this is a clear indication from the White House saying that the Mohammed Yunus regime clearly has their backing. Listen to what President Clinton said that their friendship dates back to 1980s, and he said, "You are an old guy." I know who was even drafted for this eminent position. He does not know a single person who was drafted for this eminent position by the young people of this country. So clearly, Clinton also giving a nod to the entire student-led movement that led to the eventual ouster of Sheikh Hasina. Remember, viewers, that this entire movement started against the reservation policy, but today, from the speech of Muhammad Yunus, it seemed like it was a clear operation of regime change, where a new Bangladesh sort of had to emerge, something that the President Clinton administration of the past and the President Biden administration is also watching for. So Shavan, there is an interesting dichotomy here between the tale of two US presidents.
Okay, fair enough. I have run out of time.
Thank you very much, Kutat, for getting us the latest details. We've been seeing a sharp turn has been taken in Bangladesh politics
between all the panelists.
And the fact that for a very long
despite
time,
the fact that they are from
that is essentially being
all sides of the political spectrum
should happen. It certainly does not look
agreed
anytime
that a lot is actually changing on the ground.
Focus now to the other breaking news now coming in with regards to the attempts that have been made in the last few days, particularly
and that's also an achievement both for the people of Jammu and Kashmir and, of course, for the government in Delhi.
What was being speculated all this while as to what led to the ouster of Sheikh Hasina
today
in
at an event hosted by former US President Bill Clinton,
Mohammed Yunus,
in New York,
speaking in United
the caretaker
States of
chief
America,
of the Bangladesh regime in
Dhaka. A spontaneous
Mohammed Yunus gave away
the fact that he credits
what
the
we have
students'
suspected
movement
for
the
some
ouster
time,
of Sheikh Hasina.
that the deposing
of
the democratically elected Sheikh Hasina government in Bangladesh was a meticulously planned
Let me just take you through the details.
His benefactors by his side,
at the Global Clinton Initiative 2024. He's credited the students who led the revolution against Sheikh Hasina. And he says that the entire movement was completely meticulously planned, not a sudden
and you
reaction.
Would see
now,
a genuflecting Yunus
has
introducing three student leaders
hinting at
whom he calls the brains
Sheikh
behind
Hasina's
the
ousted
dethroning
the
of the
student-led movement against the reservation
The students
policy.
understand
that
the awkwardness of the big reveal.
For a very, very
but
long time.
Yunus,
First,
beholden to his benefactors and masters in the US, goes on to spill the beans nevertheless.
The whole nation, they mobilized
the same
the whole
Yunus
nation
had
together.
no answers
it's not just the young people.
on the targeting
Every
of Hindu minorities of Bangladesh when questioned by an Indian journalist from the news agency ANI in New York today.
In the people of the United States
on a day
to make that happen.
when there was a march in Dhaka demanding that Durga Puja pandals not be put up near Muslim religious places.
They said
Tonight let's hold a mirror to the deniers of minority targeting in Bangladesh. As the Western deep state stands exposed. Look at that big Yunus reveal on Bangladesh coup.
Some of the leaders of the student movement are here, I guess. Yeah.
As the 79th UNGA session goes on in New York, world leaders including Bangladesh Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus came under one roof. Yunus was seen in close proximity to his Western allies, including US President Joe Biden, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. However, the most surprising speech of Yunus came at his old friend Clinton's Global Initiative event. Listen in to what he had to say.
Well, I'm speaking on the theme. I didn't realize what will happen in Bangladesh. Suddenly, all the young people in Bangladesh got together and said, enough is enough. We are not going to tolerate it anymore. And they didn't. They mobilized the whole nation together. It's not just the young people. Every single person in Bangladesh supports this cause. And I'm very happy with the support. They just look like any other young person. The people of the United States, you will not recognize it. But when you see them in action, when you hear their speak,
of what was called a student-led movement,
they shook the whole country by their speeches, by their dedication, their commitment. They said, you can kill us anytime you want, but we are not giving
was
up.
Hasina's ouster, quote-unquote, meticulously planned all along?
Behind the whole revolution. So he denies it repeatedly. Is it not me, many others? But that's how he is recognized, that the brain behind the whole
in this
thing.
Conversation,
It's amazing,
former director of the
meticulously
National
designed
Security
thing.
Council.
It's not just suddenly came, it's not like that.
She's a
Very
diplomat.
well
She has,
designed. Even the leadership pattern, people
a long
don't know
stint
who the leader
at the
is.
NSC.
So you can't catch one and say, okay, it's over. It's
Dr.
not
Joseph Chalil, author and publisher.
So
He's
completely diverse. When they speak,
joining us live from the United States, from Florida, in fact.
Is something it inspire any young person anywhere, any person anywhere in the world.
Chairman of the Bangladesh Autism and Disability Institute, but he's an activist who takes pro-Bangladesh caretaker government view. It's not clear whether, to me, whether he would
they
take
are the one
BNP
creating
also.
the new version of Bangladesh.
Dr. Bari,
Let's with them, wish them
you
a
must
success.
have heard that statement of
in fact, ladies and gentlemen, there is
the chief advisor to the caretaker government of Bangladesh.
In the video that you saw a short while back,
and it's clear. He said that
Yunus
it was meticulously planned. It was not a revolution that students came together, started protesting, and it
mastermind.
turned
And the fact
into
that you have
a
two
mass
other students
rebellion against the Sheikh Hasina government, and hence she had to go. It was planned to last
shook
detail,
the
perhaps.
entire
Of course,
nation.
he stopped
But
short
the
of saying
reality
that
is
maybe
also
if
this,
Sheikh Hasina had stayed
that
back, she
in
would
the
have been
last
killed. He
few
was
weeks,
speaking to international
after
audience.
the ouster of
But then
Sheikh
that's a big
Hasina,
reveal.
two things have
It's a
certainly
coup
happened.
that has happened in
Minorities
Bangladesh,
have been
backed by
attacked.
the
No matter
Western
how
deep
much
state.
they want to brush it under the carpet, that's a reality.
Definitely. Can you
The
listen
second
me?
is how they're pandering to the needs of Islamic fundamentalists in Bangladesh. Joining me on this broadcast is my colleague Krutarth, who's joining us from the newsroom. In fact, he's been tracking this very closely, the developments that are taking place. This is undoubtedly a dangerous turn that is taking place. Krutarth, the fact that Mohammed Yunus takes Mahfuz Abdullah on the stage, credits him and says that that is the new Bangladesh.
Planned before, and it was meticulous.
A little bit more focus on the stage at where this was said. It was the Clinton Global Initiative. Now, it is a very well-known NPO run by President Clinton since 2005. We all know it is in public knowledge that Yunus and President Clinton have shared a great collaboration between the two, even since 1980s when Clinton was the governor of Arkansas. So this is a relationship between Yunus and Clintons that go back decades. And what particularly was said on that stage is interesting. First, Mohammed Yunus says to the audience and the gathering at the Global Initiative conference that these are the people that you need to support in order to execute the plans. Then he goes on to say that this was a meticulously planned protest. He goes on to say that there was complete anonymity about who was leading it, how well it was designed, the manner in which the speeches were delivered and how they were inspiring to the masses. But in many ways, if you decode the speech and particularly focus on what he has said in the manner in which the ouster was planned, it sort of feels like it's a victory lap in the United States that Mohammed Yunus is attempting to give in the ouster of Hasina being almost a pre-planned event. That is what has been inferred from what is exactly said, Shaban.
All the people. And it was a great revelation.
Just a quick question that I want to take from you, Krutarth, before I move on to the other big story that is coming in from
dodged
Gujarat.
my question.
With regards to the fact that the proximity of Mohammed Yunus with the Western administration is known to the entire world. But largely the intervention of the West, something that was being speculated for a very, very long time. It appears that there is a stamp on it. The fact that the West was very much aware of what was coming in Bangladesh.
Of the operation. These are the brains behind the operation, which was meticulously
in the last 2 days, Mohammed Yunus has managed to get approvals from 2 US presidents. One was President Biden, and let me recount what he said. US President Biden said that we offer to continue support to Bangladesh to implement its new reform agenda. So clearly from the White House, from the present-day Democratic Party, there seems to be a clear nod to the Bangladesh administration. No lectures on democracy. No lectures on free and fair elections. So this is a clear indication from the White House saying that the Mohammed Yunus regime clearly has their backing. Listen to what President Clinton said. Clinton said that their friendship dates back to 1980s, and he said, "You're an old guy." I know who was even drafted for his eminent position. He does not know a single person who was drafted for his eminent position by the young people of his country. So clearly Clinton also giving a nod to the entire student-led movement that led to the eventual ouster of Sheikh Hasina. Remember, viewers, that this entire movement started against the reservation policy. But today, from the speech of Mohammed Yunus, it seemed like it was a clear operation of regime change, where a new Bangladesh sort of had to emerge, something that the President Clinton administration of the past and the present-day Biden administration is also vouching for. So, Shaban, there is an interesting dichotomy here between the tale of two US presidents.
Well, it is not what one would expect.
Well, thank you very much, Kutat, for getting us the latest details. As we've been seeing, a sharp turn has been taken in Bangladesh politics. And the fact that for a very long time, the demand that is essentially being made by some stakeholders that the election should happen, it certainly does not look anytime
that he's saying is
Should we focus on the other breaking news now coming in with regards to the attempts that have been made in the last few days, particularly with regards to derail.
I don't know whether
what was being speculated all this while as to what led to the ouster of Sheikh Hasina in Bangladesh. Now you have the chief advisor, Mahfuz Yunus, speaking in United States of America, saying that this was not a spontaneous movement. The fact that he credits the students' movement for the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, he also goes on to indicate that this was planned
I don't know.
much
this
in
is
advance. Let me just take you to the details.
Certainly it is
he was speaking at the Global Clinton Initiative 2024. He's credited the students who led the revolution against Sheikh Hasina. And he says that the entire movement was completely meticulously planned, not a sudden reaction. Now this undoubtedly has created a massive stir hinting at possible pre-planning of Sheikh Hasina's ouster in the garb of a student-led movement against the reservations policy. Something that has been speculated for a very, very long time. First, listen to what Mahfuz Yunus had to say.
Joseph Chalil, it is amply clear now.
The whole nation,
that
they mobilized
these
the whole
people
nation
who are serenading
together.
Muhammad
It's not just the
Yunus,
young people.
including Bill Clinton,
every single person
including
in
Joe
Bangladesh
Biden. And I want to put out those pictures also of Joe Biden really giving him a paternalistic hug
in the people of the
when the
United
two leaders
States
met
to make that
on the sidelines of the UNGA.
And the sky's the
and this is
limit.
the picture, not this one, the other
They
one where
want to
he's
make
just
this
hugging
Bangladesh
and
called New
again,
Bangladesh.
Muhammad
They
Yusuf is bowing down literally.
The reset button,
and
old is gone. So now you build the new Bangladesh on top of it. The images of our dreams. And this is a Bangladesh of the dreams they will make. Some of the leaders of the student movement are here. Will you see it? Stand up.